Do we listen just with our ears or our eyes too? Welcome to Thank God It's a Story Saturday, a weekly video series where I share stories with you that you can use to make your messages connect. Today's story is from one of my favorite books, Blink by Malcolm Gladwell, and story is of Abby Conant, who at the beginning of her career as a professional musician was playing in Italy. The instrument she played is called trombone, which is a musical instrument from the brass family. She played at the Royal Opera of Turin. That was in 1980. That year in summer, Abby applied for 11 openings in various kinds of orchestra job in Europe. She got one response back. That was from the Munich Philharmonic Orchestra. There were total 33 candidates selected for audition. She was one of them. The first round of the audition was designed to be from behind the screen. Not a general practice at that time, but because one of the applicants was the son of someone from the orchestra, the selection committee decided to make the first round of auditions from behind the screen in the spirit of fairness. Abby was number 16. She played, she missed one note, and she thought to herself, that's it. And she went behind the stage, started packing her bags, and decided to leave. But the selection committee thought otherwise. They were floored. They thought she was fantastic. And the music director said, that's the one we want. So rest of the 17 candidates who were waiting were told to leave, and someone was sent behind the stage to go and find Abby. Except for when Abby came in front of the selection committee, they all looked shocked and they started talking to each other. Now, they had not expected for this person to be a woman, because trombone is such a masculine instrument, an instrument that men played in the military marching bands. The music director was an old school person who had very set ideas about who should play, how they should play, and what they should play. So he was not really in favor of letting a woman play a trombone. Now, the second two rounds of auditions started. Abby did exceptionally well in those two. But for some reason, all those long-held prejudices began to compete with the winning first impression she'd had on the selection committee. Selection committee just didn't want to give her that role. They had no choice because she had excelled. They gave her the role. 1 year passed. In 1981, Abby was called for a meeting and told that she was going to be the second trombone, not the first one. Now, she was not given any reasons, so she put herself back on probation, trying to prove a point. And then the music director said to her, you know, the real problem is that a man needs to take that role, correct? They left her with nothing, no other choice but to go to court. Now, the reason that the committee gave to the court was that physically she's not able to take that role on. It requires immense physical strength, which a woman can't possibly have. Abby was then sent to the lung clinic for extensive testing. Her blood test was done to see how much capacity was there for the oxygen to be absorbed by her. She was also sent for chest examination. See, she scored above average in every single thing. Even the nurse asked her, are you an athlete? But the committee was just not ready to accept her in that particular role. They had no choice. 8 years later, Abby won the case and went back to being the first trombone. And then there would be another fight which would continue for the rest of the 5 years, that they would not give her equal pay as the other men. But eventually, she managed to get that too. What is the point of this story? The point of this story is very beautifully articulated by the author of this book, that we listen with our eyes too. There is no way that your eyes don't affect your judgment. The only true way to listen is with your ears and your heart, but that's not the case. He says some people look like they sound better than they actually sound because they look confident and have good posture. One musician, a veteran for many auditions, says, other people look awful when they play, but sound great. How does this apply to the corporate setting that we belong to? When we listen to people talk, it is really important we don't let our judgment about what they are saying get colored by the fact how they look. Some people who sound really confident, look really good, and over gesticulate sound better than they actually do. Stay storied. I'll see you here next Saturday with another story.